Hey, as you can probably tell, my ADHD autism brain just went full monkey mode and I changed my mind about every single thing that I'm doing in my life. Not just with this channel, but literally everything in my life, right? I know I need to get things done. I know I need to be more decisive, but I struggle with it so much. If you relate to this, then I've literally learned a lesson live just now, so I'm here to bring it to you. I'm literally walking to my grandma's house right now. As I was walking here, I was literally deciding for like 10 minutes what route I should take. And I'm like, bro, it's just like, just walk on the sidewalk, take enough steps and you'll get there regardless of what route you take, bro. They're like, oh crap, spider. They're like the same length. It doesn't matter. Stop overthinking. I keep overthinking everything, every little thing in my life. I keep changing my decisions. I keep like committing to something and then like decommitting from it and then committing to it again. And I'm just like, bro, am I just gonna keep like going back and forth running in circles my entire life without ever learning how to be decisive about things and trust myself? No. So that's just a big thing that I'm working on right now, especially just for myself, right? And as I'm walking to my grandma's house, I realize like how little do I actually trust myself to make the right decisions, right? Your life is comprised of, I would say, 95% of decisions. Yes, no, should I do this? How should I do this? Should I go here? Should I do that? Like, your entire day is comprised of decisions, right? The actions that you take throughout your day are comprised of decisions. What kind of decisions you make. So, I think it's pretty damn important that you should improve your decision-making skills, right? We never think of it as a skill. Like, okay, sure, with wisdom, with intelligence, we improve our decision-making. But I think even more than that is just, bro, the exact definition of decision, like where the word came from with like its history and everything, means specifically to cut away from something. Meaning that when I make a decision for something, I'm literally cutting away from everything else. Any other possibility of something else happening, I'm cutting away from that because I decide to do this. Let's say, I decide to walk down this path to my grandma's house. Well, in that sense, I'm cutting away any other possibility of any other route to get to my grandma's house. Not by helicopter, not by bike, not by car. I'm walking. And so I decide to walk. Therefore, I've cut away from every other reality. However, what makes decisions so difficult is the fact that we can possibly regret them in the future, right? Sorry. The fact that we can possibly regret decisions in the future is what makes making decisions and trusting ourselves so scary. Because we're afraid 5 years, 10 years, hell, even like an hour after, we're going to be like, oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I regret, like the regret, right? The fear of regret. That's essentially what it comes down to. So the reason why you're afraid of trusting yourself to make big decisions or even small decisions, why you're so indecisive or why I'm so indecisive is because I'm afraid. Afraid to make the wrong decision. Or afraid to regret whatever decision I made because of the outcome. Okay, fair enough. Like, yeah, I don't want to regret anything. Who does? Well, the outcome a lot of times is not even in our control. Let's say, like, I decided to take a car to my grandma's house and then there's a traffic jam and now I'm like, oh damn, I regret taking a car to my grandma's house rather than walking, which would have been faster. Well, that's number one, it's out of your control. And number two, you could have had no possible way of knowing that. And number three, hindsight is always 20/20. Looking back at your past, whatever you want to change about your past, whatever you regret about your past, looking back, the only reason why you can regret it is because you know a better possible solution to what you could have done, right? So essentially, you can only regret something if you wish you could have done something better, if you wish you could have changed something. Well, there's actually power in that. Why? Because the fact that we wish we could change something means that we learn from it. It means that we learn from it. And that we can do better next time. That if we were put in the same situation to take your car to your grandma's house during rush hour, knowing that there's going to be traffic and that walking would be faster, you would be better equipped to make that decision better. Precisely. So, did you really lose out by regretting making the wrong decision? Not really, because you learned from it. You gain experience and also you gained trust from yourself because you learned that, okay, even if I make the wrong decision doing something big, I'll always learn from it and I know that I won't die or but for the most part, I won't die or anything. So I'll come out on top, like learning from it, I'll come out on top of it. It's like I'm better, bigger than it. And it's not the end of the world, to make a wrong decision. So a lot of times we need to be able to trust ourselves to make decisions regardless of how big the yes or no decision is, because if we trust ourselves, if we have the courage to, and remember, courage is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act in spite of fear. If we have the courage to trust ourselves, especially in making big decisions, right? How much confidence is that going to build for you over time, over years, over decades? Remember, you have your whole life to get better at this. You have your whole life to get better at making decisions. Why rely on other people rather than build that skill for yourself, right? How do you think wise men become wise? Well, it's by making stupid decisions, bad decisions, decisions that they could have looked back on. They gave themselves the opportunity to look back on a poor decision and to be able to trust themselves better the next time because they learned from it, right? And so you could have probably seen okay, I was repurposing this entire channel for a day or two, and then I just thought about my desires and my authentic desires, inauthentic desires, what I wanted out of my life, what I wanted to do, all these different questions, right? My mind was just taking a hit, basically. I was dying mentally. I was feeling so emotionally drained trying to decide all these things. And then I realized, hey, it actually doesn't matter. Because if I can trust myself to make a decision, if I can trust myself enough to just go for it and have the courage to do so, and know that with confidence, I can look back on it, and regardless of the outcome, whether it's in my control, outside of my control, good or bad, whatever, that I can look back on it with 20/20 vision and learn from it regardless of what happens. And that is the beauty of life, because you have your entire life to get better at making decisions. And if you rob yourself of that experience, I think you're just cheating yourself to such an extent to where you can't even trust yourself. So you're just asking 500 other people how to make this certain decision. I'm not saying don't consult wise counsel, right? Don't find wise men to talk to. Talk to your parents, bro. Okay, you have a heavy decision to make, talk to your parents, right? But ultimately, the decision has to come down to you. Don't ask someone and blindly follow them. Never do that. That sounds stupid, but I'm willing to bet you do that all the time. And also, there is no way of regretting something if you're truly following God. And I know not everyone here is Christian, but I'm Christian, so I don't really care what you think of it. But I find that when I trust God and I put all my faith in God, right, everything happens for a reason. There is not a single thing, to the smallest minute detail in life, that happens without a reason, good or bad. Even tragic things, they all happen for a reason. There's a reason you see the stars that you see in the sky tonight. There's a reason for every single thing. For you to be awake today, there is a purpose and a reason. For you to be watching this video, there is a purpose and a reason. And when to me, that just makes it impossible to have regrets, to live a life where I'm completely doubting, because I know that there's this thing bigger than me, far bigger than me, way bigger, that created the entire world. God created the entire world, the universe, you, me, and whatever device you're watching this on. He created the concept of sound waves so that you could hear my voice. He created the concept of language so you could understand what I'm saying. And if that creator has a plan for my life, and that creator does not play dice with the universe, and he knows me and loves you the same way, how can you possibly regret anything if it has a purpose? Your failures have a purpose. Your mistakes have a purpose. Tragedies, death, life, all has a purpose. So how can I possibly regret having something that I deem as bad, or, oh, it wasn't in my best interest, oh, that's not the ideal situation that played out how I want it to be? How can you possibly regret when everything happens for a reason? Because it was meant to happen. Regret is looking back at it and wish you could have changed it. Regret was a lack of information, or no, regret is just, it's a selfish thing to regret. It's a selfish thing to regret. Because one, there's always something to look back on, a lesson. It without a doubt, like if you regret something, it made you better. Because yeah, it was painful, but it made you better. Next time that pain would drive you to be better, whatever decision that you made. But also, it served a purpose. Whether you can see it or not, there's a purpose for everything. So I want to leave you with that today. I promise I'll try not to be as ADHD autistic monkey mode, but no promises. I'm 17, I'm just trying to figure out life as always. If you want to hear more from a 17-year-old trying to figure out life, subscribe. It's a win-win for both of us. If you want to talk to me, first link in the description. You can always DM me on Instagram. Love you. Get after it.